G'day Reefers, I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Welcome to Gallery Aquatica TV. Today we're back at our new project, Leak to Sleek. This tank was recently transferred from an Aqua One 295 into the Cade 900. We're going to give you an update, show you how everything is going, all the modifications we've made to the sump, and we're going to show you exactly how we do the aquascape on this system. A tank relocation is always a stressful event to happen to an ecosystem like this one, but it's nice to see that the fish and corals are all looking really happy and healthy. And I can say that because you can see the polyp extension in the corals, you can see that the fish are swimming around nice and happy, they've been feeding fine, everything is going really well in this system. Now we've specifically left it 2 weeks before we come back to do the aquascape, and that's exactly what we're here for today. But there have been some changes to the configuration of the filtration and in the cabinet underneath. So let's have a quick look at that first. In our sump area, we still have our protein skimmer exactly as we left it. It's sitting on a large bit of PVC pipe, propping it up to the perfect height in this area. The keto is still in that little basket at the back, and all of our biological media is just filling the rest of the space. So it's working really well, and it was perfect for the transfer, that's for sure, with all of this biological media. You can see the dosing pump is set up on the side on the right here, and one of the cool things about the Cade's tanks is that they have 4 holes that are designed specifically for your dosing tubes to come through. And in combination with this little mount and the doser, it's just absolutely perfect. Very neat way to run the dosing. On here you can also see we've got the Wavemaker controllers, the MP40 controller and the Vectra return pump controller. The supplements are in the back there. It's so much neater than previously, and of course all our power is going to the power boards up the top. There's a little bit of cable management here with this ducting, as well as the ducting that runs the power cords to the power points. So it's all looking really good, but today we're here to do the aquascape, so it's time for us to get our hands wet. So I'm just going to start by moving some things around and just having a bit of a look at where things are positioned. I'm actually relatively happy with the overall shape of the aquascape. If you recall our first video on this tank, we did we kind of put all the corals and the rock back in a way that we were trying to ensure that nothing was going to sting each other or be crushed by the rock. But it's actually a relatively aesthetically pleasing scape. So I'm just having a bit of a pick through the things, and I'll take that out, and just working out how I'm going to use each of the pieces. Oh, that's loose. Of course, I'm going to be aiming to have the corals that need the light up the top, and the bare bits of rock like this one down here somewhere in the structure. But I just have to work out a bit of a game plan first. Today I'm just using the DD brand epoxy, and it's a 2-part epoxy. It will be a sort of reddish coralline color once you mix, and you just cut equal size amounts and knead them together. So I'm just starting off with a small amount. You knead them until they're a homogeneous color, and then I'm going to strategically place them in the joins between two pieces of rock so that when this sets, it will secure the aquascape. So I've just tried moving a few things around, seeing what looks good, seeing where I can put the pieces so that the corals are presenting in positions where we can see them and where they're getting the right light and flow and not stinging other things. And I've got one piece of rock across the top that's forming a bit of a bridge, and it's a really, I think it looks really good there. So I'm going to put some epoxy on that, get that secured, and then probably see what I can do to build up from that. So we're almost good to go with our epoxy. I typically like to make little sausages, so I'll make 3. And these are going to go in the seams, and I'm going to push them into place. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. The DD epoxy is a relatively slow epoxy to set, so I don't want to put anything on there which is going to cause those pieces to come apart. So that's really important that I'm careful with that structure, but it's relatively stable anyway, so I think I'm going to be able to put some light pieces on top. But I'll keep fumbling around and seeing what else looks good. So I think that it's fair to say that this is possibly the hardest job in reefing. When you have to do a rescape on a tank that's been running for years, and you've got rocks with corals glued onto them and all bits of loose rock and things that you've got to work around, it's really difficult to rescape a reef tank. The easiest way, of course, is to start with all new rock, do the reefscape first, glue it all together, and then attach your corals. It's really difficult when you've got to account for all these precious little corals that all need light and flow, and it needs to look good. It's something that has to be done, and it's definitely, I think it's the hardest job in reefing. So that is our job done. Our aquascape is exactly how I had hoped it would look. We've got space on the left of the structure, the right of the structure, in front of the structure, so we can easily clean the glass. We've got what I would say is a very aesthetically pleasing shape that kind of starts low at the front here, comes up high at the back, and curls around to the feature corals at the front. We've got this nice sort of swim through, almost like a cave in there for the fish, and it really, I think, is the perfect size and amount of structure for a tank like this Cade 900. So I've really stirred it up. You can see that the water's cloudy. It'll take a few hours to clear, but it's nice to see that we've got our structure completed. The epoxy will set over the next hour or two, and then we'll probably put a little bit more in just to further stabilize this structure and finish it off with a few more corals. But that's it for part 2 of Leak to Sleek. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Happy reefing! That's it for this week's episode of Gallery Aquatica TV. Don't forget to like and comment on all our videos and subscribe to our channel.
Stay tuned to Gallery Aquatica TV for more exciting episodes to come. I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Happy reefing!